Texas. We now recognize General Illinois, my friend, Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I would like to just kind of go over what we've heard so far from the first three witnesses, and maybe put some of this in some context in terms of what we've heard. So we heard Mexican drug cartel 7 times, DUI, rape, attempted murder, Mexico, criminal aliens, criminal offenses. Then we put, then we went from black workers are being hurt because of, as a matter of fact, undocumented workers make more money than black workers in America. So we've heard the second witness pit one minority group against another minority group, particularly in construction, because he repeated and repeated to raise the issue of race. And I've always been on this committee, and we try, at least I have, not to raise the issue of race. And I know that when members of this side raise the issue of race, members of the other side always say, don't raise the issue of race here. But today, I guess there was an exception to the rule, and we got to raise the issue of race on numerous occasions, because that seems to be the fundamental point. And then we went to, after that, we went to, again, the third witness talking about the children coming with violent criminal gangs, and again, violent cartels. And then we finished up with one of my colleagues talking and accusing those that protested here of being illegally in the country, as though he knows. But then I don't know if he ever saw anybody of color he didn't think was illegally in the country and wasn't a suspect. And I think that's fundamentally what is wrong with so much of the testimony. Look, with all due respect and deference to all of those that have submitted legislation, this legislation isn't going anywhere. It isn't going to be approved in the Senate. It isn't going to even, it may not even be approved in the House of Representatives. And the president will never sign it. So why don't we get about the business of fixing our broken immigration system and being serious? Instead of raising scurrilous charges, which makes them, look, if I were one of those protesters and I heard all of you testifying, I'd be a little upset, a little angry too, if every reference made to people that were like the protester were drug cartels, criminals, rapists, and murderers. Now, I bet if I went out to South Carolina and North Carolina and went out to those fields, I'd see some of those undocumented workers, those illegals that you talk, making sure that those farms, doing backbreaking work on those farms. I'm sure. You know how I know? Because I've been there and I've seen them. And nobody wants them all taken away. We're going to have the food placed on our tables each and every day and picked by foreign hands in foreign countries or picked by foreign hands in the United States of America. That's just the truth. And I will be the first one to submit to everybody here that my wife and I did not get married, raise 2 children to work in the fields. As honorable as that work is. We sent them to school, we sent them to college, we sent them to do other work, but someone must do that work. And I don't see Americans protesting that people are doing that work. I travel to your districts. I go in the back, I go to a Chinese restaurant, I go to a Greek restaurant, I go to an Italian restaurant, and it just seems to be that there are people who speak Spanish cooking their meals. They're very diverse. I go to hotel rooms, and nobody says, oh, I'm not going to eat that meal, I'm not going to rest in that hotel room. So think about how it is you speak about a community of people, and when you speak of them in terms of them being all criminals, because none of you ever said that you saw one of them that worked hard, was here to contribute, and should be able to stay in the United States of America. You see no merit. I heard all 3 of you speak, the first 3 witnesses speak. You never uttered in one instance any merit to those work. Yet we know that the vast majority of those who work in agriculture are undocumented and put the food that you eat each and every day on your table. I would like to end by saying, Bishop, we're going to visit you out in Tucson to sign people up and make sure there are more dreamers. And I would just like to say, what do you think His Holiness, our Holy Father, could you give us what he would think when he comes to speak to the Congress of the United States?
Well, I have no idea what our Holy Father will say when he comes to speak to the Congress, but I do know the issue of immigration is dear to his heart. One of his first initiatives was to go to Lampedusa, which is an island that many people are crossing the ocean at great risk to their lives. And he wanted to be there because he saw these people as people wanting a better way of life, in danger of their life, and he wanted to be there among them, which is what he does. He lives what he says. He speaks with authority. And I think he will prod the Congress to move forward with courage and conviction in doing a comprehensive bill that includes enforcement as an ingredient, but certainly many other areas like a pathway to citizenship, like legal ways for people to come here, like reuniting families, like helping these sending countries so that people don't have to come. Nobody wants to leave their own country where they're at home in their culture and their language, but some have to, and we have to understand that.
I can't wait to hear from proposals. Thank you so much.
Thank the gentleman from Illinois.